We've been talking a lot about the universe these last few days, but what exactly is the universe? The universe is everything that exists, all matter, all energy, and all the space between things. Look around you. Look at the room you're in, at the people who are around you, even at the air you breathe. It's there, though it's kind of hard to see. Think about your school, your neighborhood, your community, your state, your country. Picture the whole earth in your mind. Picture all of the oceans and mountains, animals and plants and rocks and water, all of the things you have ever heard about or seen on the earth. All these things are part of the universe, but the universe is much bigger than all these things on earth. The sun, the 8 planets in our solar system that orbit the sun, and the huge distances between them are all part of the universe too. So are all of the other objects in our solar system. All the satellites that orbit the planets, the asteroid belts, the comets, and the meteoroids. But the universe is bigger than the solar system. When you look up at the sky at night, you sometimes see the moon, or a planet that is part of our solar system. You also see beyond our solar system stars and constellations that are all part of our Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way is huge, and every single part of it is also part of the universe. There are billions of stars in the Milky Way. The Milky Way galaxy is enormous, but the universe is even more astronomical in size than the Milky Way. If the sky is very clear and you know where to look in the night sky, you can see another nearby spiral galaxy. That's right, the Andromeda Galaxy. Like the Milky Way, it is a spiral galaxy, but it may have up to twice as many stars as our Milky Way. Scientists believe there are billions of galaxies, each containing billions of planetary systems, and all of them together make up the universe. But the universe doesn't just include the matter or stuff that the stars are made of. The universe also includes all energy, time, and space. As you can tell, the universe is big, and it includes things we can see as well as things we can't see. In fact, the universe is so big that we don't even know for sure how big it is. But just because we don't know exactly how big it is doesn't mean that we can't study it and learn more and more about it. Scientists learn more about the universe every day. The new discoveries they make help form ideas or theories about the universe. A theory is an explanation about something or a reason for something. Scientific theories are not just guesses, they are explanations based on evidence or information that scientists get by making observations and taking measurements. Frequently, there are several different theories that seek to explain the same phenomenon, so scientists gather new data to help select between these theories. They share the data and study it to look for patterns and answers to their questions. When new evidence is discovered that supports a theory, scientists' belief in that theory is strengthened and it becomes clearer and more certain. When something new is discovered that goes against a theory, the theory can be changed or readjusted to take the new evidence into account. Sometimes new evidence can show that the theory is totally wrong. Then a new theory takes its place that explains the evidence better than the old theory. Here's an example of a theory that changed based on new evidence. For many, many years, humans have looked up into the sky and observed the stars. They have developed stories and theories to explain the universe. In the distant past, most humans believed the theory that Earth was the center of everything that was known. But then, in more recent history, around the time that Columbus made his famous voyage from Spain to the New World, scientists like Copernicus and Galileo discovered new evidence that proved this was not true. So a new theory, that Earth was not the center of the universe, took its place. Today, there is a common theory about how the universe first developed called the Big Bang Theory. It is a theory that is well tested and widely accepted by many scientists, but not by everyone. The Big Bang Theory seeks to explain how the universe may have come to be, and it began with a tiny speck. That's right. According to the Big Bang Theory, before the universe was the way it is today, it was believed to be very different. There were no billions of galaxies, there was no Milky Way, there were no stars at all, no sun, no solar system, no planets, no Earth, no moons, no asteroids, no comets. There may not have even been time or space. All of the ingredients to make everything we see today were there. They were just in a very different form. It's hard to imagine, but the Big Bang Theory traces the universe back to a point where all of what we can see now in the universe was compressed into a teeny tiny speck. This speck was jam-packed full of, well, everything. It was unbelievably dense and crowded. This speck was also super hot, hotter than anything on Earth, hotter than the sun. Around 14 billion years ago, something amazing happened to all that compressed stuff. Kaboom! A bursting forth, a moving outward, a rapid unfolding. It's been called many things by many people, but this amazing thing that happened is believed to be the Big Bang, the birth of the universe. It was hot and it was sudden and it was powerful. In a fraction of a second, space that had not been there before was suddenly everywhere all at once. Tiny new particles formed and began crashing into each other, creating energy and eventually joining to form larger bits of matter. The universe kept expanding and expanding, all of its matter spreading out as the universe kept getting larger. And as the universe expanded, it began cooling down a little at a time. According to this theory, the newborn universe was nothing like it looks now. An estimated 14 billion years later, back then there were no stars yet, and there wouldn't be for the first 100 million years after the Big Bang. The universe kept expanding and cooling, substances kept crashing into each other, and brand new bits of matter were formed. Eventually, new gases formed. As these gases began to cool, they collapsed because of gravity and formed the first stars. The universe kept expanding and stretching, and more stars were born. Then galaxies formed. About 9 billion years after the Big Bang, our sun and solar system were born when gases collapsed in on themselves and formed our sun. That was believed to be a little over 4.5 billion years ago, but the expansion of the universe and the creation of new stars still goes on today. Many scientists believe that the universe is about 14 billion years old, but no one on Earth has been alive nearly that long. Even Earth hasn't been around that long. The truth is that no human being saw the universe as it was being formed. So how did scientists come to believe this theory is true? Good question. You know how sometimes we make predictions before you hear a read aloud? Over many years, scientists have been making predictions based on 3 pieces of evidence they have observed to be true. This evidence supports their prediction that there was a Big Bang. The first piece of evidence that supports the Big Bang theory is that the universe is expanding. Remember how we said when the Big Bang happened there was a sudden unfolding and spreading out of the universe? The expansion continues today and it has never stopped. Scientists have taken many measurements that proved this to be true. The data that astronomers have gathered are evidence that the galaxies are still moving farther and farther away from each other, and the farther away the galaxies are, the faster they are moving. Because scientists know that galaxies are now moving away from each other, it makes sense that they were closer together in the past. This is exactly what the Big Bang theory says, that about 14 billion years ago, everything was all together in one single incredibly hot, dense speck. The second piece of evidence is the discovery of something called the cosmic microwave background. Remember how we said when the Big Bang happened, everything was incredibly hot and then gradually cooled down? The cosmic microwave background is believed to be the glow or leftover heat from the Big Bang itself. This glow or heat does not come from any object in the universe, but has been discovered to exist everywhere in the universe. Microwaves are one of the types of light energy given off by the sun and other stars. Even though they are invisible to us, scientific instruments allow us to view them. The Big Bang theory predicted this leftover microwave light energy would exist in the universe, and it was indeed discovered in the 1960s. The third piece of important evidence that supports the Big Bang theory is the amount of the very slightest elements that exist in the universe. Some elements are heavier, like lead and silver, and some are lighter, like hydrogen and helium. The Big Bang theory predicted that these lightest elements were created in specific amounts shortly after the Big Bang occurred. By measuring and collecting data, scientists have found that the amounts of the light elements in the universe today are extremely close to the amounts of light elements that were predicted by the Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory seeks to explain how the universe may have first come to be. These 3 pieces of evidence are great examples of how actual measurements of the universe support and strengthen the idea that the universe began with kaboom, a rapid and sudden expansion known as the Big Bang. For many scientists, discovering these three pieces of evidence that support the Big Bang has been a real blast.